بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا ونبينا وحبيبنا محمد صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. Inshallah ta'ala, just this morning a quick reflections on some of the beautiful sayings of Imam Ibn Qayyim, that sometimes we struggle with things in life, and these reminders come to give us some guidance of how to view things. One of the things that we struggle with is the ability to struggle itself. The ability to struggle, in which way that we struggle, right? In which way that we struggle. One of his saying, radiallahu anhu, he said, the majority of people only carry out their duty of obedience only in things they like. Most of us, we carry the obedience itself, that we want to be obedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. However, in things we like, example, salah. Salah brings us comfort. So we like it because we're very stressful outside, and it physically brings in tranquility and comfort. So there is a solace in it, there is a way out. So salah, we do it as an obedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but we love it. It helps. And we physically can feel it. Same thing with other worship acts that we do and we like. So the majority of people only carry out their duty of obedience only in things they like, even though the higher status belongs to carrying out the duty in things they dislike. The higher rank of obedience gets into actions that we do it as of an obedience for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. However, we're not necessarily in love with it. We don't really passionately love it. Example of this, fasting. A lot of people very, very struggle with fasting. They don't like it. It does not bring comfort. It makes them very tired, very drowsy, and it just gets into them. They do not have connection with fasting. However, they do it. That's the pure obedience where you push yourself beyond the obligations of Ramadan. So whenever an opportunity arises of Siyam Yawm Arafah or Ashura or the 3 days every month, or Mondays or Thursdays, or all these beautiful opportunities of 6 days of Shawwal, and then you hear the month of Muharram is something that our Prophet ﷺ used to fast in. You do not really like fasting, however you push yourself into things that would give that higher rank of obedience. Now we're focusing on worship. However, this formula has to be applied on other acts of dealing as well. Since it is through these that the ranks of the servants are distinguished. So this is how the ranks of believers are distinguished. When you really not only struggle through things that you like, you struggle through your commitment to salah, but you love salah. You struggle through your commitment to Fajr prayer, but this is who you are. You're a morning person. You get up, you love to start your morning from early on, so you can finish. So there is a goal that you want to finish early on, so you can go back to your family, so you can connect, so you have time. There are some benefits to it that comes along with it. since it is through these that the ranks of the servants are distinguished, and it is according to this that their degrees are decided in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. These are the ranks that we talked about. This is the ranks of believers, the ranks of Jannah, the ranks of getting ahead of others. Now, this formula itself will help as well, and it should also apply, it should be applied to dealings as well, not just strictly to the ibadah, meaning that we might be in obedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala again in things that we deal with others that we like, right? Let's say someone loves to help out people. It just brings them comfort. And the studies have shown, even recent studies have shown that when you help out others and when you see the smile on their faces, it brings you happiness. Happiness triggers your brain to release some of those hormones that put you at comfort, put you at ease. So you feel it. Whenever I help out others, I myself get benefited. I benefit from it. I feel good. The stress is out. Anxiety is out. All this is out. So I'm benefiting with it. So I am in obedience. I am helping out others. I'm getting reward, alhamdulillah rabbil alameen. However, I'm benefiting from it. It's something that I love as well. It's great. But the higher rank is to pass on where you also struggle through things that you dislike. What you dislike is some type of the arrogance that we have. When someone comes and tests your temper while you're helping out other, you blow. It's like, who you are to talk to me like this? I've been since Fajr prayer and Eid, we've been since last night and we've been preparing, and you're coming with your family, and now you're coming to tell me that this is messed up and this organization and there is really a chaotic things and you lose it. Why? Because that comfort that you were receiving as you help out others is disturbed. One person came out of many others who recognized your work. One or two came to disturb this. And this same thing happens with some of us, or some of our even sons and daughters, where they come to the masjid. Many are receiving them in big arms, and one or two do not do so. And they judge the whole masjid that the masjid is not welcoming. Why? It's just because one or two people did not align with your way of comfort and disturb that peace that you were in, but then we generalize. Again, this is something that we dislike. Other things that we do not, of course, we do not like to be criticized, but this is where we're being tested, right? This is where it's not bringing me comfort, but I'm still in obedience. That's what I put myself. I put myself to serve others. So I should not really arrogantly just blow and get back at anyone that tries to outsmart me. And then this is how we voice our discomfort. One of the things that we do not like as well is the fact that we do not like to be wronged. So when people wrong us, it is very difficult for us to forgive. And when we forgive, we don't forgive in a level where it's really clean. I really have no issues with you anymore. But that's one of the areas where we are in total obedience with things that we dislike. We don't like to be wronged. We don't like to be transgressed against. And it is so difficult for me to forgive when we're in that status, but that's the highest level of obedience. We do not like to do things that that discomfort us and does not bring us benefit. But since it is part of the obedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is how we should view true, genuine obedience, not only to stick to the areas where it brings us comfort and relief, but rather to push ourselves ahead, way ahead, where we train ourselves to do obedience in a way that Allah finds us subhanahu wa ta'ala in areas where we not necessarily like, and we do not feel comfortable being there or giving it out or doing it or conducting it. However, this is where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to see us, for the level of obedience that we strive for. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to allow us to strive hard to get to the level of obedience where we are able to do things that brings us comfort and things that we're not necessarily in an area where it brings us comfort, and sometimes we are actually in an area where we dislike the action itself, however not in a bad way. It's just naturally we're not in a position to like it, but we still push ourselves toward it in order to seek Allah's pleasure and acceptance. Allahumma ij'alna min ha'ula, Allahumma ij'alna min alladhina yastami'una al-qawla fayattabi'una ahsanah. Allahumma, we ask you, O Allah, to make us among those who are able to struggle through this and struggle through the true, genuine obedience, to gain it and to get on a higher level of acting upon it. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us among those who listen to the best of speech and follow it. Allahumma ameen. جزاكم الله خير. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.